Quick heads up, I do full chart readings at astrologyrideoftheday.com if you want to go deeper. All right, let's get to it. Most people don't choose their faith, it's given to them. Then we're taught it's wrong or a sin to even question it. Out of fear, most people will obey their programming. By the way, programming doesn't just pertain to religious faith. It goes deeper, as in your way of life and how it works and how you should work. I pushed past the fear of sin and burning in the pit of fire forever and the programming to respect authority, and I did the very thing I was told not to do. Question my faith. This questioning has led me down a few different pathways, but I ended up here with it. Where's that? Here is another out of the circle comment. There is no hell and there is no pitchfork devil trying to put you in a pit of fire for eternity for missing church last Sunday or flipping off that driver the other morning that kept blowing their horn at you. One of the most common questions I get asked when people find out I'm an astrologer is, do you believe in God? To be totally honest with you, there was one point in my life that I was starting to lean towards the atheism route. But this was long before I started studying astrology. I will go ahead and get it out the way. Since I know I made the statement, there is no hell or devil, you're probably thinking, well, that must mean he doesn't believe in God either. If you thought that, you would be wrong. I do believe in a higher power, but it's not in the form I was programmed into believing. Here is another out of the circle comment. I met God. Okay, this dude has really flipped his noodle. Yes, I know you may be thinking I've gone crazy, but the only reason you're thinking that is because that thought comes from inside your circle. I'm not in your circle. So what did I tell those ladies? Let's get to the meat and potatoes. I used her understanding to try to explain it. Have you ever played that game when a few people sit in a circle, one person begins the story and tells the person next to them, by the time it gets to person number 10, the story is all changed? Well, the story of Jesus is the story of all of us, and after 2,000 years, you've been programmed to believe it's the story of just that one dude, when in fact it's the story of everybody. Then I said, do you believe Jesus was the Son of God? She said, yes. Well, didn't he say we was his brothers and sisters? She said, yes. Can your brother or sister do anything you can't do? She said, no. The things you believe Jesus did, you're actually capable of doing as well. People have a hard time with this one. I also said, if you have not studied symbology, you are missing out on a lot of what the Bible is really about. The example I use is trying to read a text message from a teenager. If you don't know the codes and symbols, you will miss the whole message. No, I didn't study symbology. I didn't have to. There are quite a few scholars out there that has done the work for you, if you just look for it, which I have. Here is another out of the circle statement. If you will look at the big picture of all the orthodox traditional religious belief systems, the stories are all pretty similar. Most are too stuck in their way to even look at it. If you looked, you may say, wait a minute, something is kind of fishy here. Here is a news flash you may not be aware of. They have books from philosophers and writers predating the Bible and all the other religious texts. You do know some of these people were leading thinkers at the time when Jesus was on earth. Have you ever looked to see what they had to say about the matter? By the way, Jesus is not the only one with the virgin birth story. I really like pointing people in the direction of the story of Horus. It's spelled Horus. Google it. I don't have time to get into it right now. I'm trying to stay on track. Okay, so let's go back to my higher power.
If you like these daily horoscopes and want one personalized for you, same style, 3 minutes, about your chart, you can book a first impression reading at astrologyrideoftheday.com for $25 and I'll record it, drop it right here on the feed. Tips is also welcome, even $1 helps. Full deep dive readings also available. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all at I Am Astrology Readings. My brother's gotta eat too. I appreciate you in advance.